Can you walk us through what's going to unfold, what we should be watching for?
Adrienne, it's going to be 2 days of hearings before the International Court of Justice. It'll be 3 hours each day in the morning. Tomorrow, on the first day, it will be lawyers for South Africa who will lay out their case. And on Friday, it will then be Israel's turn. And what's really key to watch here, Adrienne, is that this isn't the start of the actual hearings on the actual accusation that South Africa has brought forward, but it's purely on this question. South African lawyers are seeking in these hearings what is called provisional measures. Now, what does that mean? Basically, it means it's an emergency or an interim measure that is a little bit like a restraining order in which they're aiming or hoping would stem the conflict in the short term until the court has a chance to consider the bigger question, which is South Africa's accusation that Israel is committing genocide against Palestinians in Gaza.
And of course, if that goes ahead, that decision will take years. I'm curious, in the next few days, though, broadly speaking, argument-wise, what are you anticipating hearing from South Africa and then Israel?
Well, South Africa has a very large application that it submitted last year, more than 80 pages, but it's not going to go into all those details. Right now, it really is about the short term. And so, but it will say that the acts in question that it will be talking about include, quote, killing Palestinians in Gaza, causing them serious bodily harm and mental harm, and inflicting on them conditions of life calculated to bring about their physical destruction. On the Israeli side, you can expect to hear inside the court what you have been hearing also outside, and that is vehement opposition to the accusation and an expansion on the statements that it has made throughout this latest bout of violence, that the military operations are necessary for its self-defense, and that it's working against a force, Hamas, that it has described as genocidal, and that the Israeli Defense Forces are doing what they can to avoid civilian casualties.
Nahlah, that preliminary ruling that you talked about, can we talk about consequences for a moment? What potentially could happen?
Well, it's really important to point out, Adrienne, that the court has no way of enforcing its decisions, and a ruling may have very little impact on the ground, as we've seen in previous cases like Ukraine and Russia. But if the court decides then it decides what exactly those measures will be, and they could include asking Israel to stop its military operations. But the larger case, that will take years.
All right. Nahlah Ayed at The Hague in the Netherlands. Thank you.
You're welcome.